Well, are you ready for the second half of Hierarchy's Overkill? As you can see when you look around the ring, this is that point of the show where shit starts to get real. So, this next contest, scheduled for one brawl, is a Crimson Mask match. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission, which can only be obtained once your opponent is bleeding. Oklahoma, he is the Oklahoma Strangler, Morrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight, back with more Hot Pro Wrestling Anarchy Overkill live from the Club Agave in Austin, Texas. And Christopher Morrison, this is a man that I'm incredibly familiar with. I have followed his journey all across the great state of Oklahoma. Very recently starting to get his foothold now in the state of Texas, and that foothold has got his foot in the door, and he is making his Hot Pro Wrestling Anarchy debut tonight live in Austin, Texas. But he has a tall task ahead of him in this Crimson Mask matchup against none other than Deathmatch Jesus himself. Tonight we are going to see exactly how the Bear Fighter, how Vladimir Putin's least favorite wrestler in the entire world, steps to the Oklahoma Strangler known as Christopher Morrison. I know that these two have faced off before in other independent promotions, but I got to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, that was years ago when Dimitri Alexandrov was a mainstay in the state of Oklahoma. Ever since he has made his way down to Texas a couple of years back, ever since he has enveloped himself in these deathmatch stylings and adorned himself to the fans here tonight at Hot Pro Wrestling Anarchy, we have seen an entire different side of Dimitri Alexandrov compared to that which we would have seen just years ago. These are two different beings than the times that they last collided with one another. Tonight, this Crimson Mask match, you can only pin or submit your opponent if your opponent is bleeding. Blood must be exiting the body of your opponent in order for you to score a pinfall or submission victory over either one of them. Dimitri Alexandrov, he really finds himself to be in his own element. Alexandrov, known as Deathmatch Jesus, the hardcore messiah across the globe. Christopher Morrison, he doesn't exactly find himself in these deathmatch stylings all too often. This Crimson Mask match puts the Oklahoma Strangler a little out of his own depth. Now a forceful collar and elbow tie-up now. Dimitri Alexandrov trying to get a little bit of an advantage here on Christopher Morrison. But the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Morrison is one of the hardest hitting professional athletes you will find in the state of Oklahoma. Now making his way down to the state of Texas, the Oklahoma Strangler trying to leave with a body part or two from this matchup from Dimitri Alexandrov. Dimitri Alexandrov taking control of that left arm here of Christopher Morrison. Side headlock applied by Morrison. Catches catch can style. Doesn't exactly adorn him well to the stylings of a hardcore, a no disqualification matchup. There was a period of time where Christopher Morrison, this man was known as a brawler. He has everything in his arsenal to compete in a brawling style of matchup. Now Off the ropes goes Morrison, into a hip toss there from Dimitri Alexandrov, off the ropes. Sliding clothesline from Alexandrov. It looked like Alexandrov, he might have been about to go for the cover there, trying to see if he could sneak a quick victory over Morrison. Now going for the cover is Morrison. And our official, Killian Powers, says that did not count. I understand it's a little bit of instinct on everyone in this ring. Christopher Morrison wanted to get into the pinning predicament here for Dimitri Alexandrov. Look at that running STO from the Russian bear fighter. Meanwhile, our official, Killian Powers, is so used to reffing completely regular matchups that he might have forgotten himself the rules of the Crimson Mask match. This is not a matchup that we see too often here in Hot Pro Wrestling. Dimitri Alexandrov, he has that scissor bat. Morrison, though, not without weaponry of his own right. Oh, this is going to be absolutely dangerous. And a shot to the nether regions. And Morrison with a shot from the bat. That bat has broken glass shards all over it. And again, off the skull of Dimitri Alexandrov. That bat makes that skull sound hollow, but you know inside, Alexandrov's brain might be swelling from that blunt impact trauma. Just delivered now to the back. The objective at this point for both men, trying to make your opponent bleed. Only then are you able to go for the pinning attempt or submission maneuver. Christopher Morrison, though, that bat, I don't even know how that bat is legally allowed in a public place. Christopher Morrison is digging the scissor bat into the skull of Dimitri Alexandrov. I know I've said before that this matchup may not be specifically designed for Morrison, but it definitely fits into his vicious nature. While we might have, hold on a minute, the cover. Only a 2 count once again, but is there blood coming out of the skull of Dimitri Alexandrov? I'm not too certain from my vantage point. This is a matchup, this is a position which benefits Morrison greatly in the sense, oh, here we are. The blood is pouring out of Dimitri Alexandrov directly from the forehead, and this puts Dimitri at a disadvantage in this matchup. It's almost like wrestling an Iron Man matchup, a disadvantage in the numbers game. Morrison has not bled yet. The 2 count, and no. Back to the rear chin lock, trying to keep that maneuver applied, trying to wear down Dimitri Alexandrov as much as he can. At this point, this matchup truly becomes scientific here for Christopher Morrison. The Oklahoma Strangler is trying to employ the methodations that he's done to take down legends all across the state of Oklahoma, and now trying to take down the Deathmatch Messiah with those same variations. Alexandrov off the ropes here. Morrison with the clothesline, flattening his opponent. The cover and only a 2 count once again, and you see that halo of barbed wire. Something which Dimitri Alexandrov has introduced as a calling card, now being used against him in some sort of sacrilegious fashion by Christopher Morrison. This is absolutely brutal. Oh, Alexandrov, he's got him in that fireman's carry, Death Valley driver, the cover. But Morrison is not bleeding, and Alexandrov, he was trying to act off of instinct there. You have to wonder if even Alexandrov is well aware of the fact that he's bleeding. These two men are running off of fumes right now. Morrison, he's in a bad place. And that includes any place with Dimitri Alexandrov and a glass-taped baseball bat. Good God. Wait, what is Christopher Morrison doing here? Oh, once again, shot to the back. Morrison back to his feet, got him with that Yakuza kick into the DDT. And at any point in this matchup, Christopher Morrison has the opportunity to go for the cover. Oh, this is not Oh, no, this can't happen. It is well within the rules. Oh my God! How is Dimitri Alexandrov not tapping out right now? This is absolutely destructive. Who knows what was in those syringes, which Christopher Morrison has now placed into the mouth of Dimitri Alexandrov. Absolutely disturbing. Morrison now, he's got that cookie sheet going for it. Alexandrov caught him with the gusset plates. I'm getting all tongue-tied here, ladies and gentlemen. This match is gonna go all over. And you see it now on the back, on the arms of Morrison. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. The man is pouring out blood left and right. Clothesline flattening Morrison, still with that gusset plate in the side, the cover. No, it's gonna take more than that though for the hardcore messiah to put down Christopher Morrison. Like I said, it's been a long time since these two have faced off, and they've never faced off in a capacity such as this one, with such a bloodthirsty and rambunctious crowd here at the Agave Club. Another thing which we've seen come to be a calling card for Dimitri Alexandrov. The thumbtacks are aplenty here tonight. And Morrison, you look at the arms of the Oklahoma Strangler and the gusset plate right inside the skull with the cookie sheet. That gusset plate could have been severely dislodged inside the head, inside the skull of Alexandrov. You'll notice as well, Alexandrov, he has that long hair, and it really serves as a disadvantage. But maybe less so than Morrison. Good God! This is absolutely abhorrent. This is too far. We're seeing two hearts of Texas right now. The blood of Texas fills the arena. Morrison trying to lift him up there, but you may be thinking this man, good God, a headbutt there from Morrison. Belly to back suplex, and you have to wonder how much of those thumbtacks Dimitri Alexandrov might have caught on the way down. At a certain point, Morrison, he might be suffering from a loss of strength, possibly impaired vision due to the blood loss in this matchup. Into the cover, that's gotta be it, no! Admittedly, folks, Morrison is looking worse for wear in this matchup despite being on the offensive. I don't know how much longer this man can continue on eating the big boot there from Alexandrov. Up with the kicks. Alexandrov ducking the line there as Morrison up and down one more time, and there is no doubt about the thumbtack employment into the back of Alexandrov, but only a 2 count there. And at a certain point, Morrison has to be questioning his strategy. He has to be rewiring his mindset right now. What more does Morrison have to do to put Dimitri Alexandrov down? I am in absolute shock at the both arms. You see it's smeared onto the legs of Morrison. This is, good God. The drops of blood you see on the steel folding chairs. Morrison, you don't want to do this. The Oklahoma Strangler, he's got that stranglehold applied here. He's put many men away with this one, but Alexandrov, I was gonna say he just broke the hold, but he didn't do so for very long. Creating a little separation there. Eating the rolling elbow. Lifting him up. Fireman's carry positioning. What could we be looking for? Death Valley driver. And the back of Morrison's head has dented one of those chairs. Meanwhile, the legs denting the other one. And we're seeing a crossface applied. Good God almighty, that's it. That's it.
Here is your winner, the Bear Fighter, Dimitri Alexandrov.
Christopher Morrison is a shell of a man after this matchup, but it's only a matter of time before we see him, hopefully with a little bit less blood loss, back in a hot pro wrestling ring. What a destructive and downright disturbing matchup to have witnessed, but that is the nature of the Crimson Mask match. And at the end of the day, the better man won, but you have to know Christopher Morrison has revenge set on the mind when it comes to Dimitri Alexandrov. Ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup.